Hello traders, welcome to another episode of Greenback Riders Trading Academy. Today is April 13th and we will be looking at what are the expectations for the week going forward and what we are expecting specifically for tomorrow. So again, as we always do, we will take a look at the price action expectations first and then we will take a look at how the gamma levels on SPX are positioned for tomorrow. Before we start, if you're liking the contents of these videos, please make sure to like, share, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and click on the notification icon. Also, I stay live on Google Meet throughout the market hours, mostly from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the afternoon. So if you're interested in joining that, the link to our free Discord server is given in the description below. So you can hop in there and you will see the webinar link pop up every morning at around 8:45 a.m. So first of all, let us take a look at the monthly chart. So we have seen that we did bounce from this 21% area of the 2024 bar. And also we had this monthly trend line and we are holding above it at this point. And the touch point on the trend line is around the 5360 area. So if we give up that 5360 area again and give up this 5304, again 5306 is the 50% mark of this month's candle, the current month's candle, which also happens to be the 21% of the 2024 candle. Then we can come down to this retest this 5276, and then we will see if we are taking out this 5218 once again. Then we can revisit this 2024 11% at 5156, and then we will see if you're getting down to our 5107 levels. However, at this point of time, I am thinking that this particular low, which was a major low on the monthly chart, this has to hold. The 5217 line has to hold. If the 5217 line does not hold, then we can actually come back to these levels once again. And this pink box right here is the 930 to 931 opening range of last Monday. Since that area has acted as a good area of support, I have still kept that on this particular chart. Now, on the upside, we all know that this 5429 has been a very strong resistance. We have an hourly double top near that as well. So if we are breaking that out, then we can take a trip to this 5497 area, and then we will see if we are taking out this 5520, which was this week's current high, and then we will see if we are able to get above this 5536, right? So if we get above this 5520 and getting rejected from this 5536 area, it may create a trading range here, or the market may start coming down one more time. We'll just have to see how the price action unfolds once the price gets up here. But if we can get above this 5536, I think this 5566 to the 78 area, and then this 5603, which is a multiple daily low. We will take a look at the daily chart as well for this. This line will be very important, but this can be a target for the bulls at this point as well. Now on the weekly chart actually panned out the way I was expecting, that we'll have some wick at the bottom. It will have some wicks at the top. I did not wish such a big candle, but again, the tariff news on and the tariff news off is causing this. I expected larger wicks on this particular candle with smaller bodies, but at this point of time, we have a larger body and smaller wicks. So we have to take what the market has given us. Again, this was the monthly trend line that we had. We are holding the weekly above that. So if we do not give up this 5360 area that we were talking about, and we take out this 5429, then maybe we'll have another trip right to this area from 5520 to the 5536. And as we were talking about it, if 5536 gives up, we may actually get up to these areas as well. And then we will see if we are getting in to the 50% of this strong weekly candle. And if we do, then we can actually come up to this 5779 to the 5850 areas as well. On the downside, again, if we are not able to hold this particular trend line and we are giving up this 5308 area, that is when the bears will become a little more active and they can try to bring it back to this 5150 or 56 areas once again. And then again, we will have to see what this 11% area has been doing. This particular line has been a very important line for the last 1 week. So we will have to keep our eyes peeled on that and see if we are able to break it down further, or we will bounce from here and then we will stay in the same trading range that we are in. So if you're looking at the daily chart at this point, this was the huge bar that got created when we had the first tariff reversal news come in, right? This particular candle went above the high, trapped the bears there and came back down again, and we came down to where? To that again, the 2024 11% mark at 5156. And then we have bounced from there and we went back up to this 5429 area, but we failed that. However, this is an inside bar at this point to this particular bar. So this particular bar now becomes my mother bar. So now I will keep my mother bar fibs on top of this and see how the market reacts around that. So this 53, 33 or 34 area is the midpoint of Thursday's mother bar that got created. If we are giving that up, then we can come down to the 33%, which is the 5277 area that we talked about earlier. And then the market may actually come down to the 21%, which is the broken monthly low at 5217, although 5227 happens to be the 21% of this bar. And then this 5189 and the bottom of this 2024 11% line is also possible, which happens to be the bottom of the last week. Now, if I'm targeting this downside with this particular market, with this huge bull bar in existence, I will have to wait for this low of the last week to give up, and that happens to be at the 5207 areas. So if that gives up and we are holding below 5200, then the first target here will be the 5189 area, and subsequently we can come down to this 5154 to the 5153 areas. And if we are breaking that down again, this particular line at 5106 will be of high importance. Now on the upside, if we are able to break out of this particular high, which is at 5417, yes, we can come and tag this 5429 areas, but we have to break out of this 5429 areas. Again, we have that particular trend line there, so we'll have to break out of that, and that trend line will be exactly broken at the 5429 area. So if you are breaking it out again tomorrow, then it becomes a higher possibility that after this low got created, this was the first entry long and we are getting this second entry long. Although this itself was the second entry long at the top, because this being the first entry long, this was the second attempt for the bulls of reversal. So technically this is the second entry long. We came down below the 50% of this particular bar on Wednesday, but we could not hold that and we have gone back up to the top. So there is a high probability that if we are breaking out of this 5429, we can come to this 5450 area, and after this 5450 area we will try to hit these stops once again. And then, as we were talking about earlier, 5520 has to be broken out in order to see 5536, and that will become a decisive point whether we want to break out of this and touch this particular line at the top. This particular trend line is also aligning with the top of the daily EMA band right here. On Thursday we got rejected right at the daily EMA, but we did not get a follow through, so we are kind of creating a tight trading range here. But if we are able to get above the EMA and hold, maybe we will be targeting this 5606 to the 5616 line once again. That will be the first target, and then we will see if we are getting out of this mid 2024 line. This is the 50% of the 2024 line, and the 5429 line actually happens to be the 33% of 2024 as well. So if we are breaking out of that and we are breaking out of these highs, our first target happens to be at this 527677 areas, and then we can come up to this 5603 line. You remember I was saying that the 560306 area will be really important for the coming week. That is because of this. This is where the price will come and hit that monthly trend line to the top, and then we will see if we are breaking out of this, getting out of this 50% of the mid 2024, and then the price can actually try to hit the targets at the top. Now this 4-hour chart is actually giving us a bullish reversal trend, right? So this was the bottom. From here, this was our first entry long, and then we pulled back, but this was not a technical pullback. We did not take out the lows of any of the candles. So this was the first entry long, and then we came back down here. We came back to this particular area where the bulls started buying again at the 4880 areas, and then these two candles actually gave us the second entry long on the 4-hour chart. And then the price just crashed through the roof. So if you are looking at a measured move of this particular one, that we started from here, we went back up to here, and then this was the pullback that we had. Then the market started moving back up again. This was the 1:1 area, the 5346 of this particular move up, pullback, and then 5346. We were rejected at the 5520 levels, but as of now, none of the major lows have been taken out. So I would consider this to be a major low at this point, the 5150 area. So if this is breaking down, we may see some downside move here. And then if we are breaking out of this 5536, we will target this 5583 area, and then we will see if we are going and hitting this particular trend line, as we talked about on the daily chart as well. Now, I do also see that none of the major lows has been taken out yet, and this has become a major low at this point of time. But if you look at what is happening here, on the 4-hour chart, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There were consecutive 5 candles that came down. We came down below the channel, and then we bounced back up again. We got the first leg up and we got the second leg up. Now, there is a possibility that this was just a 2-legged move to the upside, and now we keep sliding back down and take out this 5150. So if we are taking out this 150, 150 area here, at that point of time, we may also get a measured move to this 5054 areas. This is where the bulls actually started buying. This was the breakout area from 5067 to 5054. So if we are giving out this 5150 areas, it is highly possible that the price will come and hit this 5063 to 54 area again. But remember, that will still not take out this major low, and we do have a trend line right here. The price may come and hit this particular trend line. The price, if it's breaking down this, it may come and hit this particular wedge line here. We do not know at what point it will hit that, if it comes and hits it, but I will have this extended. And if that wedge line fails and we are giving up this 50-50 area, the next target will be at the 501417 areas. And then we can actually come back to this pink box to hit this particular trend line that we have on the 4-hour chart. I will actually keep this trend line marked in a different color so that we can identify that, because there has been a lot of lines that got created on this particular chart for now. Now on the upside again, as I said, we have to get above this 5429 area. Then we will look for this 5465. This becomes the order block that we have on the 4-hour chart right now. So if the bears want to sell, they will actually bring the price here again to the 6665 area. And then there can be another strong selling at that point of time. But as we are seeing on all the charts, this 5429 area is becoming very important. If we are getting above this 5429 area, we can easily get to this 5467 to the 5520 area somewhere here. We will have to be very careful when we are within the range of this particular bar. And if we are taking that out and we are taking out the 5536, we already talked about the upside possibilities that we have. Now let us take a look at this hourly chart here, and you will see that the hourly chart is currently in kind of a weak channel at this point, and we do also have a wedge line created to the upside. So this is the hourly channel that we are in right now. We have created multiple higher lows here, the first one being here, the second one being here, and the third one being here, and this particular channel is not looking very aggressive for the bulls, right? However, we may get some tariff news again. We may break out of this, we may break out of this particular channel line here, and then straight come up to the top here and try to hit these areas. And at that point of time, we will see if we are breaking out from here. But on this lower time frame of this 1 hour, we are in this particular channel. On this particular chart right now, on this 1 hour chart, it is still looking like a bear flag of this drop. So the price may actually come and try to hit these levels once again, 5280, 5307. And if we are breaking them down, then we will see this 5217. This is the beginning of the channel here after this drop. So there is a possibility that we will come down and retest this 5155 areas once again, and then we know what to expect in the subsequent downside areas. What are the major areas that we will be looking at in order to see if we can short the market? So this will be the first area that I would want the bulls to hold, this 5260 area. And if the 5260 area gives up, then we will be able to see this 5220. And if we continue down and break down the 5200, as I was saying earlier, we can come down to the 11% of the 2024, break that down, hit this trend line once again of this the daily channel that we had, and then we will see if we are coming down to 5049 once more. And then below that, we already talked about the 4-hour chart, what our targets to the downside can be specifically for tomorrow. On the weekly basis, these lows may again hold, or we may just create a higher low here and then continue to go up or stay in this particular trading range. Right now, we are in a trading range. There is no denying that, right? We had a big drop here. We went back up. We came back down. We had a big climb up here. So this is where we are creating a trading range. So if you're looking just at this part, it may look like that, okay, the market came down. This is creating a channel, and it will come and retest these areas again and then come down further to here. And then we can get a 1:1 move of this move to the downside. Yes, that's a possibility. But if you're looking at the bigger picture here, this came down. We went back up. We came down again, but we created a higher low, and now we have created a higher high. And right now, no major lows have been taken out, and we are holding this 5311, 5310 areas, which happens to be the top of this. So as long as either this area is broken down, the bears will not get enough traction. If this area is broken down, they can get it back to 5213 area and the 5155 areas also. Now this will become a serious low. If they are breaking it down, then yes, we can get to these areas on the downside. Now, even if you look at the 15-minute chart, this is a trend line that we have on the 15-minute chart connecting the highs. It is talking in a similar language compared to the 1-hour chart that we came down, we went back up, this was the pullback, then we came back down again and held this particular low, created a higher low, and now we have created a higher high. So there is a possibility that we will break out of this high, try to get above this and touch this particular trend line, thereby creating a wedge, and then we will see if the market is dropping from there, right from maybe the 57-70 areas. We can even come up to here. Otherwise, we have this trend line also. We are in an expanding triangle, so the price may actually try to come down to the 51.50 or the 49.63 areas also, and then start bouncing. Now, such a big drop will only be possible when there is some momentum in the market based on some news, and the news right now is either some kind of fight is breaking out somewhere in the world, or there is some tariff news announced by some country either in the US, or some retaliatory tariffs that is going on around the world, especially with China. One more possible news can be that there will be a Fed intervention and they will come down with the rates and thereby spiking the market once again. So we will have to keep a very close eye on the support and resistance areas. We do not know when that tariff news will come up. We have no idea about that. And I personally do not keep looking out for news coming out, thereby taking a trade. I just go by the support and resistance areas and take my trades according to that. So that was all for the price action discussion. Let us now look at what the SPX gamma levels are holding for us. Now, the link to all these charts that we are talking about are given in the description below. So if you want to take a look at the charts, you can just click on the link and you will be taken there. So looking at the SPX gamma levels right now, we need to remember that this weekend is also the options expiry for April on 4/17. Having kept that in mind, this is the whole gamma exposure level that we have as of now. Now this may change right at 9:30 at the open, and that change will actually be visible to us around 9:45. So around 9:45, if there are any significant changes, I will either mention that in the Google Meet call or on the Discord, or I will actually go ahead and change this particular chart at that point of time if there is enough time available with me and I'm not in any trade and hawkishly looking at it. Let us talk about this. The first aggregate gamma is at 5400. So right now the SPX value and the ES value has a spread of around 30 points. So whatever be the value of SPX at a given point of time, if you add 30 to it, you will get the approximate value on the ES chart as well. So if we are talking about this one AG line, the first aggregate gamma line at 5400, that will be equivalent to the 542930 levels that we have been talking about. So if we are breaking out of this, we will get to this 5425 line where the gamma turns positive for some time. This is the only positive gamma line that we have right now, above 5401, which is standing out. And above that, if we can get above that, the market will actually get back to 5451, or it may create a trading range here before it breaks out. But if we take out this 5400 level and then keep coming back down, it may come back and hit this 5375, which is the 3 AG, and then we may start coming down further. Also, this particular line at 5350 is marked in orange. It is still a major line because we have the fourth put open interest and the third call open interest there, so that area may also hold as support. If it does not, we will come down to this 5335 to the 5325 areas, which will be the 5300 area on ES mini, and then the price may actually navigate down to the 5300, which will be the 5330 area that we were talking about, which will be very close to the 5333 to the 5334 area that we were talking about, which is the current midpoint of this month's bar. And then if we are breaking down from here, we can see further downside, and those will actually depend on the price action levels that we talked about. So that is all the analysis that I have for now. I will see you guys again in the morning around 9 o'clock. And at that point of time, if there are any changes to the gamma levels, I will let everyone know. I will end this video right here and I'll see you guys again tomorrow morning. Have a great rest of the weekend, everyone. Bye.